Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 13th day of January 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend and that you and your families are also safe and healthy and that your family also enjoyed their weekend. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are risking their lives to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries such as mail, UPS, FedEx for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover. The teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on those who profit from human flesh, and double curses on all those perverts that create the great demands for these evil and heinous industries. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, and senior citizens homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. First of all, I want to apologize for everyone that came out to my live cast, which we usually have on Sunday early. I don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened. The camera wouldn't come on. It wouldn't start going live. It just reminded me of what I already know, that there's going to come a day when there'll be no Raw Hebrew Knicks channel. It's going to happen. It's eventually. I know that. Not yet, but it's going to happen. So it was just a reminder of that. And again, I apologize for those who came and there was no show yesterday. So I'm looking into what happened today. I don't know what the problem was, but we'll see. But again, it's just a reminder that I know that eventually I won't have a YouTube channel. Eventually it's going to happen. Everybody has his day. Things start and things end. It's not my time yet, but it's coming. So anyway, back to the program. Yesterday, the Knicks beat the Detroit Pistons. There was a basketball game at Madison Square Garden yesterday, and the New York Knicks did beat not the Pistons. They did beat the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday decisively. They actually won the game yesterday by what? Let me just take a look at the final score so I don't lie to you. They won the game yesterday by 34 points, 140 to 106. What a response. You can't really ask for more of a response to such a heinous loss that happened on Friday to the Oklahoma City Thunder than what you got from the New York Knicks in their follow-up game with the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee is by nobody's stretch of imagination a sorry team. They have been coming on very strong. As a matter of fact, I think going into the game, if I'm not mistaken, they were like 7-3 in their last 10 or 6-4, something like to that effect. They were really starting to rampage. Giannis, everybody was saying, playing at an MVP level. And so in Madison Square Garden, you and I know that there are people that come into Madison Square Garden. Every player that has a competitive juice, like all NBA players, they want to show out at the Mecca. Okay, they want to show out at the Mecca. And Giannis is no different. Dame Dollar is no different. They want to come and do their thing at the Mecca. But, I was looking at, I remember a year ago. That's my problem. I remember details sometimes from past things that people forget. And I remember a year ago, the Knicks lost 4 out of 5. That sound familiar? And this was the situation a year ago. Starting on December 23rd, they lose to the Bucks, 130-111. Watch this. Then they had the Bucks again at the Garden. They beat the Bucks 122, 129, 122. Then they lose 3 straight at Oklahoma City, at Orlando, at Indiana. Then they start a winning streak where they won 5 straight. Then they lose a really disappointing game where they were up with 60 seconds left. And Luka Doncic did some things, and there was a foul shot. The Knicks did not get the rebound. The Knicks lose that game 128-124. Then They went and lost to Orlando again, and then they go ahead and go on a long winning streak. Very similar. And as we've been saying all along, actually, Tom Thibodeau's teams start slow, and they play their best basketball in the spring after the first half of the season. This year is no different. And every year, there's people that try to project eternal negativity on the Knicks. Every year, I got to be defending Tom Thibodeau. Every year, I get idiots coming on my channel. Thibodeau's being outcoached. Blah, 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 blah. You know, spewing the negativity and BS. It's the same. It hasn't changed. The only difference is this year's Knicks team is better than all the previous Knicks teams going back to Walt Frazier. This team. See? So, yes, we have a problem with Oklahoma City in the season. But the middle of the season doesn't matter in terms of the champion. Who is standing in June is the champion. And that's what matters. Up to this point, from here to there, the Knicks are going to get better. Okay? We should really, those of you who call yourselves Knicks fans should stop. There's some people, and I ain't going to name no names, but that only really come on my channel with comments when there's something negative to say. And like I said, I know my channel ain't going to be around forever, and that's cool. But let me tell you something. I want to get rid of all negativity from my channel. That's the goal. Somebody said, well, you think Thibodeau is God and he can't make a mistake. No, that's not it. I just don't like people being idiots and being negative on a coach that we haven't had this level of coach literally in 30 years. And not recognizing and being thankful for what you got. I recognize what we got. And I ain't trying to be a better coach than Tom Thibodeau from my living room couch. Anyway, they came back yesterday with a vengeance. And the thing is, there are two areas that really started off. I know Jalen Brunson had 44 yesterday. Yes, he went off. He did. And they came with the same strategy, that is the Bucks, that every other team has come with. That is, you put a tall, lanky dude that can play defense on Jalen Brunson. You be very physical with him. Okay? You be very physical with him, and you frustrate him, and you cause him to be knocking his head up against the wall and stalling the offense by holding the ball too long. They tried it. They tried it with a young man named Andre Jackson, I think his name was. He got done up. Because Jalen Brunson is an all-NBA all-star. Okay? He's a superstar. And eventually, he's going to get his numbers. Eventually, you're not going to stop him. You're just going to try to make it difficult. And when he figures out what's going on, it's like when Floyd Mayweather was fighting. To me, one of the greatest fighters ever was Floyd Mayweather. Why? Because he's undefeated. Why? Because he would use the opening rounds to figure out his opponent. Figure out what his opponent was doing, what the opponent's strengths were, what his weaknesses was, where his openings was. Then he would start to tactically destroy the guy. Sometimes knocking him out, most times by points, but tactically destroy him. Jalen Brunson does the same thing. Once he figures out how defenses are coming at him, it's over. Okay? And so you're dealing with that now. They figured out that they would get people putting full court pressure on Jalen Brunson. And then you had Josh Hart bringing the ball up and Jalen going off ball. They figured that out. Okay? And then that's what I love about this team. They will figure it out. This is the thing. When you look at an Oklahoma City team, okay, all of those guys were developed in their system. They gave away talent in terms of Paul George, in terms of James Harden. They gave up talent to get development. And so they gave up talent to get SGA. SGA was, surprising everybody from the time he come out of Kentucky. And now, he's MVP level. Okay, definitely MVP level. Then they use their tremendous scouting team and development under the leadership of Sam Presti, an executive of executives. Okay, I've been had big respect for him because he's the one drafted 3 MVPs. He drafted James Harden. He drafted Kevin Durant. He drafted Russell Westbrook. And they developed them so that by the time when you had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook on the same team, they went to the finals against the Miami Heat. Okay, now they lose because Miami had more veteran leadership than they did. They were kids. But they went to the finals. Okay, Kevin Durant did not have the heart to stay there. Okay, and help develop. And since he was on the Warriors, he ain't won jack since. Okay, because he gave the leadership up to the Warriors. And he wanted a quick chip. Okay, you got it. But he ain't winning nothing on his own because he ain't got the heart. He ain't showed it. Okay, he showed when it was time to show heart, he bailed. Okay, and to me, that's just a sign. He's never going to be able to win a chip without somebody else taking the lead. If you ask him to lead you, look what happened to the Nets. Look what's happening to Phoenix. They desperate to get Jimmy Butler because they just desperate. So Oklahoma City has a team that was built from ground up, starting with a guy that's a potential superstar and is now a legit superstar in SGA. Them guys have been together for a while. The new guy is Hartenstein. And if you a Knicks Nation, you understand how seamlessly Hartenstein could fit. So yeah, Oklahoma City's rough. They were rough last year. I've been calling them for the top of the West for about 3 years now. 2 years ago, they were kind of disappointed. Last year, they were kind of disappointed because I thought they would take the West last year without Hartenstein when they had Chet Holmgren, because they were playing Chet Holmgren 30 minutes, not more than that. They were really just keeping him in for the fourth quarters, and they were balling. So they're going to be rough again. Okay, but we ain't finished yet. You seeing a snapshot of the Knicks right now. Yep, right now, Oklahoma City's the better team, period. There's no question in that. They've proved it, okay? But you ain't finished the development of New York Knicks yet. This is the first year. Brunson, Mikal Bridges, these guys, OG, this is the first real season they're all together. Okay, you got to give them time, which Knicks Nation don't do. You got to give them time to gel, develop. Takes a season at least. I mean, look at LeBron and them. The first year they came together, they were in losing streak too. Then they went on, won 2 chips. That first year was them, Bosh, him, D-Wade, getting to know each other, getting together, understanding the schemes. It's all right. The Knicks are good. What I don't want, is every time something negative comes, it's the end of the world and people jumping off bridges and coming on my channel with Twitter BS. I don't want to hear it. I know our team. I know our team is good. I know we're going to get better. I ride or die with the Knicks and with Tom Thibodeau. I ain't questioning this because, like I said, I waited a long time for us to get to this point. And so I'm hoping in fact, I know, barring injury, this team's going to be there at the end. So now they got Detroit tonight. Okay, just beat Milwaukee soundly, right? I mean, 34-point win is a 34-point win. I mean, you can't, what else you going to say? They just beat Milwaukee handily yesterday. And Giannis was balling yesterday. Giannis was balling. He was. They put Dame Dollar in the wraps a little bit, though. I mean, I got to say, Dame Dollar had a whole bunch of turnovers yesterday. The Knicks defense, and this is, again, what I was starting to say is, for the Knicks, it's 2 things. It's energy and defense, which are related. If they don't have the energy, they're going to not play defense the way Tom Thibodeau expects them to play. The energy is emblematic of Josh Hart. Josh Hart was the only one balling. When I watched the Oklahoma City game replay on Saturday night, Josh Hart was the only one that came to play. He was the only one. Jalen Brunson was confused, pushing against a brick wall, and they had him locked down. First of all, Oklahoma City is the #1 defense in NBA for a reason. Everybody from 1 down to at least 8 can play both sides, can play defense on an elite level, and most of them can hit open shots, as they showed, or can play both ways, like SGA can play both ways. Like Hartenstein, we know he plays defense. He know he hustle. He bring energy. He plays high IQ ball. That's all of them. Okay? So that's why they the top team right now. They the top dog in the West, and in the East, it's Cleveland. And by the way, is it the end of the year for Cleveland now? Because they just lost yesterday. Who they lost to? Cleveland yesterday. Who they lost to yesterday? They lost to Indiana yesterday, 108-93. So is that the end of their season too? If that was the Knicks, that's what people would be declaring. Anyway, Cleveland and Oklahoma City are the class of the league right now. Period. They are. But this is January. Let's see what happens by the time we get to June. That's when it really counts. And I know that our Knicks is going to get better over the course of this next 4 or 5 months, barring injury. They're going to get better. So there you go. But the energy level was there yesterday. The defense was there yesterday. And this is emblematic of both Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges' defense sucked against Oklahoma City. He was discouraged because he wasn't hitting his shot. And he knows it. He admitted it so much after the game. He said that were worthy boos. It was boo-worthy, the way they was playing. He's right. So he was not hitting his shot, and it discouraged him so that he wasn't playing defense. But he learned. He wasn't hitting his shot yesterday. He was passing up a lot of shots yesterday. But let me tell you something. The brother was on point defensively yesterday. He was on point, okay? And he needs to be. And this needs to be the focus. And if you think Tom Thibodeau didn't have anything to say to them after getting their ass kicked by Oklahoma City on Friday, you ain't paying attention. They will tell you, I'm sure, they have said it in the past, that after bad losses, you don't want to hear Tom Thibodeau, okay? He's on it, okay? So he's not having it. Yesterday, Mikal Bridges only scored 6 points, but he was plus 17. And part of that was because he was part of a crew. He was passing up shots, giving assists. He had 6 assists, but he was playing defense yesterday. He was playing defense. Him and OG, okay, both of them, they were playing defense yesterday. OG did a great job against Giannis. It's hard to guard Giannis. You can know he's coming right under the basket, and that's the thing about superstars. You can know what they're getting ready to do. A lot of y'all be tripping because everybody said, well, RJ only got a right hand. He can only go left. Everybody in the league know he can only go left. Yet he still get 20 points a game because you can know what he's going to do, and he's still going to do it. That's how good these guys are, okay? Jalen Brunson. I hear people, I've been listening to the opponent's broadcast of a Knicks game. Sometimes, in League Pass, you can't help it. They don't give you the Knicks one. They give you the opponent. And it's just stop them from going left, as if it's that easy. This ain't high school, man. I remember in high school, there was a cat I had to guard, and he would get 30. But I realized he could only go right. He could not go left. And I would force him to turn his shoulder to try to go left. And he would miss every time. I'd let him have the jump shot, and he would miss, just turning left. This ain't high school, though. These cats are really, really good. You can know what they're getting ready to do, and you still can't stop them, okay? So OG and Mikal, they showed up on defense yesterday. Then, of course, you had my man Precious coming off the bench. Now, his stats, 4 points, 3 rebounds, don't look like much. But Precious looked like a little boy next to Giannis, and he held his own. Remember now, Precious is not a 5. He's a 4, okay? But he's playing the 5 spot until Mitch Rob comes back, okay? Precious is more effective out of the 4 spot, okay? That's why a lot of y'all, which I understand, calling for him to start next to Gato. I understand that. But I'm not sitting Josh Hart yet. I'm not putting him in the second unit yet. Not until Mitch Rob gets back. No, I need Precious. He's the strength and size on the second unit. He's only 6'8". 6'8", yeah. So we need him there. He played 15 minutes, but he was really doing good job against Giannis. Not shutting him down. You're not going to shut down Giannis in his prime. Giannis is the ultimate grown-ass man. You're not going to shut him down. But can't expect much more than what Precious did. He put himself out there, and he was really doing a good job against Giannis yesterday. All his 15 minutes was spent trying to guard Giannis. And eventually, Deuce and Shamit and Payne, eventually, them jumpers are going to start to fall. See, they're not falling. Deuce has not been shooting the ball well. He dealt with a couple injuries, but, he was 2 of 6 from 3, 2 of 7 from the field yesterday. And it's kind of been typical for like the last 2 weeks. But eventually, them jumpers going to fall like they was before. Because these guys can really shoot. It's just adjustment is part of the season. And when they do, we won't be hearing no more about scoring from the second unit. Especially when Mitch Rob comes back. Mitch Rob looked really good. You look at him, if you followed Mitchell Robinson, you remember he was a gangly rookie, young dude with a lot of energy, getting in foul trouble. Then he thought he could bulk up and got too big, hurt his foot, right? And now he's back to the slim Mitchell Robinson we used to see in his first 2 or 3 years. Except now he knows how to avoid foul trouble. He's a game changer on the defensive end. He really is. So some of y'all forgot. I haven't. When we get him back in that second unit, ooh, okay. That's all I'm saying. We're going to be good. That's all I'm saying. So tonight, Detroit. Detroit just beat the Knicks on December 7th. Just beat the Knicks at the Garden on December 7th. Detroit is streaking now. Last year, they were 3-36. Now they're 20-19. Okay? 39 games last year, 3-36. This year, 2019. They've turned the corner, and they're in the second phase of their rebuild, where now Kay Cunningham is showing himself to be not just worthy of number 1 pick, which he was, but he is going to be that dude. Then you got some veterans, Michael Beasley, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr. You got them around him. You got Jalen Brunson that's now developing into an NBA level 5. Very difficult to do. And then you got, of course, guys like B. Stu. So they got a team. Jaden Ivey, he just hurt himself, but he's going to come back, hopefully, for him. Don't want the boy career to end on an injury like that. But it was a similar injury than what happened to some other guys, like Paul George had an injury like that. Others have had injuries like that. They look horrific. They are. But they're usually not in a joint. And so therefore they generally come back. Modern technology and medicine and all that. These guys usually come back. So Ivy should be able to recover full strength eventually. So they are dangerous right now. Detroit could beat anybody on any given night. It's the NBA, it's the league. They could do that. And so the Knicks, but the difference tonight, the Knicks need the 2 things we talked about, energy and defense. They got to come with that. Okay. I don't care if Mikal Bridges yesterday 2 of 5, OG 5 of 12. They can't always get 40. Okay, but the offense is not the focus. It's energy and defense that wins games in the NBA and wins championships in the NBA. And the Knicks will have that. And will y'all please stop with all of this Thibodeau overplaying his starters crap? What y'all want? See, when people say stuff like that, is this sustainable? Can he continue to do this? Like, what are you really saying? Are they going to be tired at playoff time? No, they're not going to be tired at playoff time. What, you want them to trade? No, there's no trade to be made. Do you want them to fire Thibodeau right now? That's the stupidest thing of all. Stupid. No, that's shooting yourself in the foot. No, we just need to wait and let it play out. They know what they're doing. You don't stop listening to people that ain't coaching in the Madison Square Garden sideline as if they know what's going on. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Thibs is there. The players are on the floor. They know what they're doing. Let them do it without whining. Okay? Let's get this dub tonight. Let's bring that energy. Bring that defense. Let's get this dub. You all enjoy. Right now, the Knicks are 3rd in the East, by the way. 3rd in the East. And if I'm not mistaken, they're a full 3 games. At least 3. Let's see. No, they're 3.5 games ahead of the Magic, who are 4th. Milwaukee was 4th when they came to Madison Square Garden yesterday, but they lost and Orlando won. So now Orlando is 4th. They're 3.5 games behind the Knicks. The Knicks are 2.5 games behind Boston. Boston won a game yesterday. I was watching the game. The Pelicans with Zion is a completely different team. Completely different team. They're a top-notch team with Zion. I'm telling you right now, they're going to trade Brandon Ingram. I don't want him. I don't want to hear none of y'all talking about trading for him. Stop that crap. Let him go somewhere else. But they're going to trade Brandon Ingram because they play better without Brandon Ingram with Zion in the lineup. They would, that is New Orleans, they would be very interested in Mitchell Robinson. They would be very interested in him. You add a Mitchell Robinson to Zion Williamson, and Pelicans got something. Problem is both of them cats are injury prone, right? But Zion makes a whole bigger difference. Just him. Yesterday, they were right there with Boston, and they lost at the end. They had literally lost in the last 6.6 seconds. Okay? They were just a missed layup away. They were down one. McCollum had the ball, 6.6 left. He gets to the rim and misses the layup. If he hits that layup, they beat Boston in the Garden yesterday. And Zion's on a minutes restriction. They're playing 28 minutes a game. Smart move. 20 minutes is about right for him. And he did look much slimmer. He looked much slimmer yesterday. So I don't know if he wants to be there or if he wants to be traded or whatever. But if they keep him, and if I'm Pelicans, I don't care what he wants. You better play because we drafted you to play. So, and we're paying you a lot of money. So if he stays with the Pelicans, they're going to be rough. But Boston can be had. That same team that could not miss a three against the Knicks were having their problems against Zion and them yesterday. Every team comes down to earth, y'all. This is the league. Every team does. Oklahoma City will. Cleveland will. Happens to everybody. It's who's standing in June. That's the champ. Y'all enjoy the game tonight. Sure.